Hey folks, this is the last video in this section, and this is going to deal with some more properties of logarithms. So if you would please go all the way to the end of your printed notes, where it has a section called More Properties of Logs. So the very first property that we're going to look at is the product rule. And you can see I've got the English version of the statement typed out below that. The log of a product. So you can see here that I have right now a single log, and I'm taking that log of a product, two things that are being multiplied together. And then the next big word here is the word is, which is just simply my equal sign. So the log of a product is the sum. We know that the word sum means that we're going to be adding of two separate logs. So what you have here is a log plus a log. You can see that I've got the sum of two separate logs. And notice that my base has not changed. What started out being a base of A is still a base of A. And now it's the two pieces of my product is what I am taking the log of in my sum. Secondly, we have the quotient rule. This is a very similar rule to the product rule. So once again, we've got the log of a quotient, and you see that already written out. I've got a single log here, and I'm taking that log of a quotient, two things being divided, and that's going to be equal to the difference. We know that difference means to subtract of two logs. And so once again, we have here a log minus a log, the difference of two logs. Thirdly, we have the power rule, and the power rule is where I'm going to take, notice that I have a log that is raised to a power. This x here is raised to a power. This power is going to go to the front of the log. And when it goes to the front of the log, we'll be using multiplication. And so you can see that my y, my power, is now out front times the log base A of x. That was the only thing that changed. This is probably one of the most important rules that we'll be using throughout the rest of this chapter. Then we have the change of base formula. The change of base formula is simply a formula that maybe we don't like the base we've been given, and maybe our directions say that we should be using a calculator. But the thing is our calculators will only do common logarithms and natural logarithms unless you have a specific type of calculator. But the ones that we require will do common logs and natural logs. And so maybe we have a base of 3 or a base of 5 and we don't like our base, so we want to turn it into either a common log or a natural log. So you notice that I've been handed here a log base b of x, and we're going to assume that whatever this base b is something that we don't like. And so one thing that you can do is you can change it into the common log, log base 10 of x divided by log base 10 of b, where I'm using the x and the b that was in my original. Or instead of changing it into a common log, I could also change it into the natural log. So the natural log of x divided by the natural log of b. I want to show you the table down here. This is laws of exponents side by side with laws of logarithms, whether it be the product rule, the quotient rule, the exponential rule, the zero property, excuse me, or even just the inverse where you are taking your negative powers and moving things from the top to the bottom. So just understand that I'm not really going to pay any attention to this table, but it is a very useful table. So it may be something that you want to have handy while you're working on your homework and while you're studying. Of course, these are things that you need to get comfortable with, but it would be useful while you're working.